What is up, Hardcore Nation? It's Hardcore Christopher here, and I'm doing something a little different. You see, last week, after my NXT recording, what came on right after NXT was Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, which is the first movie out of 7 movies. You have Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Akaban Prison, Order of the Phoenix, wait, no. It doesn't matter what order I name these in. Goblet of Fire, you guys get it. There's and Deadly Hollows, because Deadly Hollows was split into 2 parts, so that's 6 and 7. So I have really, you can ask everything wrestling. I have been asking him questions about Harry Potter and about the world for a while. Ever since Friday. Well, of last week. And I'm not stopping. But anyway, I thought, what is the origin of, like, Hogwarts and Hagrid and Dumbledore and McGonagall, Crow, Snape, you get the picture. So I thought, as I'm dubbing myself a new fan, because even though I did watch Harry Potter and the Deadly Hollows Part 2, that was a long time ago. So, let's read this. Oh, and you can find this at wizardingworld.com. So, let's start. Hogwarts was founded by two wizards and 2 witches. Okay. At some point in the 10th century, 4 of the greatest witches and wizards that ever lived founded Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Their names were Godric Gryffindor, Rihanna Ravenclaw, Helga Hufflepuff, and Salazar Slytherin. As the Sorting Hat told us, their reason for doing so was because they had the self-same yearning to make the world's best magic school, and once they did, each created their own house to represent a personality and skill that they wanted to nurture. Gryffindor students embodied bravery and chivalry, Ravenclaw, intelligence and wit, Hufflepuff, loyalty and fair play, and Slytherin, the values of being sly and cunning. It was built in Scotland, away from Muggle eyes. If you don't know what a Muggle is, It'll probably explain it. Hold on. If it doesn't explain it, I'll explain it. The 10th century was a dangerous time for witches and wizards, who were being persecuted by muggles, hostile to magic. Therefore, Hogwarts was built somewhere in the Scottish Highlands and concealed with numerous charms and spells to make it impossible for muggles to trespass. For instead of an enormous school, any passing muggle would only see ruins and signs warning them of danger. Okay. So, basically, if you've ever watched The Sorcerer's Stone, Hagrid says to Harry's uncle, who was completely scared. He may act all big and bad, but when you take his gun away, he's just scared. A muggle is a non-magic user. The castle itself was huge and complex. Hogwarts has a long history of ancient magic, and Albus Dumbledore admitted that not even he knew all of its secrets. Indeed, much about the design and construction of Hogwarts remains a mystery. Did the founders implement the disappeartion jinx? What's that? Where did the Room of Requirement come from? Why did they build a school next to a dark and dangerous forest? Its name is very literal. Okay. It's a popular wizarding theory that Rowena Ravenclaw, I think I'm butchering these people's names, I'm sorry, came up with the name of Hogwarts after dreaming of a warty hog that led her to a cliff by a lake. It's unknown, however, whether this is actually true. Okay? The founders were friends but fell out over what Hogwarts should be. Okay. Much like the Marauders or Harry Hermione and Ron, the founders of Hogwarts were originally friends, yet that changed once it became clear that certain founders had a very different idea of what they wanted Hogwarts to be. That founder, of course, was Salazar Slytherin, who distrusted Muggle-born wizards. What a Muggle-born is a non-magic is a non-magic user that is born into a family that has no magic in their bloodline at all. But then what is a Muggle-born wizard? Well, that's a little hard. Okay, I'm gonna try to explain it the best I can. A Muggle-born wizard or witch, because Harry's mom, Lillian James Potter, well, Lillian Jane or James Potter, I think it was Jane. Was it Jane? I don't know. was born into a family that had no magic at all. But that all changed. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh. Um. But I lost my train of thought. Oh. But that all changed when Lily got her letter. Her sister knew about it. Her sister is very, very jealous. That's the reason why she's so cruel to Harry. Which is unfortunate. But Harry and Voldemort are actually half-breeds. What is that? Well, Voldemort's father was a Muggle. And Voldemort's mom was a witch. So they had him, and he's a wizard. Actually, he's the Dark Lord of that age. Lily was a witch, and Harry's dad was a Muggle. So that's the reason why they're half-breeds. Anyway, let's continue. And believe that only pure-blood students should be allowed to attend Hogwarts. The other founders disagreed, especially Godric Gryffindor, who was up until then Slytherin's greatest friend. Their argument, possibly it suggested a duel, resulted in Slytherin leaving the school behind. Salazar Slytherin left, but not before. He built the Chamber of Secrets. The story goes that the hidden chamber was kept secret from the other founders and was sealed until Slytherin's true heir arrived at the school. A student who would be able to unseal the Chamber of Secrets and unleash the basilisk inside a huge snake that would purge the school of Muggle-born wizards. Now that is a grudge. Gee, that's an understatement. Tragedy also founded Rowena Ravenclaw. Rowena Ravenclaw was the greatest witch of her time, a figure famed for her intelligence and wit, and that was before she wore her enchanted diadem. I'm gonna have to ask everything wrestling about this, because even when I'm reading it to you guys, I'm questioning things. So hopefully he has answers. Which was said to enhance the wisdom of the wearer. Such a witch casts a long shadow. Her daughter Helena found it difficult to escape from. Envying her mother's status and power, she betrayed her by stealing the diadem, believing it could make her powerful, and ran away from Hogwarts. The betrayal embarrassed Rowena, who told no one, including her fellow founders, that the diadem was missing. On her deathbed, she sent a young man to find Helena, so she could see her daughter for one last time. That young man, who had long been inf- infe- in fe- fe- infatuated with Helena, tracked her down to a forest in Albina, but ending up killing her when she rejected his advances. His real name is unknown, but you'll recognize him by his post-mortem moniker, the Bloody Baron. Rowena Ravenclaw died soon after. Legend has it that the cause of death was a broken heart. In cheerier news, let's go now to Helga Hufflepuff, who was apparently the founder responsible for giving house elves jobs in the kitchens, giving them somewhere to work where they would be treated fairly and not be abused. She was also very good at food-related charms, and her recipes are still used by Hogwarts for their feasts. Godric Gryffindor's legacy lives on today through his hat. Sorting hat? Okay. Godric Gryffindor favored the virtues of courage and heroism, and has been described by J.K. Rowling as the best duelist of his time, both with a wand and a sword. Thus, his legacy lives on with the Sword of Gryffindor, the relic that Harry Potter used to destroy Horcrux, but he also endures through another object. You see, when the founders became older, they were faced with a problem. How would they ensure that students were sorted into the right house after they were gone? For up until that point, that decision was made by them, and them alone. The solution: Godric's hat. Oh, the sorting hat. So that thing is thousands of years old? The founders decided that the best course of action was for Godric to take off his hat, so that all four of them could enchant it to sort students long after their deaths. And lo, the sorting hat was born. Okay, well, apparently that is all. That is all the history. That is the end of this article. So, I hope you all enjoyed. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But now I'm left with more questions than answers. But that is to be expected. I'm a new Harry Potter fan, and I hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And as always, I'm Hardcore Christopher. Keep it hardcore, everyone.